Hello, how you're doing? Welcome to Canaries Walk. We are previewing and reviewing every single Norwich City game in this championship season. And this week we are talking about what on earth happened at the chaos at the Kazam. And to do that, we have the very best of Norwich City Twitter and social media to help us do that along what's going to be a very bumpy season. Welcome, Liam, Matty, Will from at Youth Norwich, who's also here to tell us also about how Norwich are doing at youth levels. Ollie, Rob, and Owen as well, who also have their own channels, which we'll promote along the way too. Welcome all. Last week we had lots of happy optimism, smiling faces. The championship is back. God, so you just hate football sometimes. It brings you up and takes you down. Let's review it all, shall we? Liam, we'll start with you if that's okay. Did it all go wrong before they even got in the dressing room with Rowe's announcement?
I'm just going to be honest with it. Yes, it doesn't help, does it? You know, your sort of star player pulls out amid transfer rumours. He's meant to be starting and then leaves a manager with a decision to make, and that does affect the team, I'm afraid. So it did go wrong from the very start.
Your view on that, Matty, is Rowe justified? Is there any justification for a player saying my head is not in the space to play the opening game of the club that pays you your wages fixture?
No, absolutely not. I was fuming, to be honest. I wasn't as fuming with the result and with what happened, but like for him to do that a few hours before kickoff, to let his manager down, to let his teammates down, to let the fans down. He's been at that level with us for a season. Didn't even play the full season because he was injured. I think you've got to remember where you come from, and to do that, to let the club down, to let the fans down, is totally unacceptable. So there's no justification from my perspective.
Will, before we get into the footballing side of it, there's a few on Twitter sort of suggesting that, you've got Ida now obviously spitting his dummy out. You've now got another player, and that saying Delia's not digging enough into their purse to keep these players happy. Where do you stand on that? It's a very small debate saying, look, this is where we're at as a club now. We can't keep everyone happy, give them the wages and the terms and conditions which they want.
Yeah, I don't think I would blame it all down to Delia, because I think we have shown in previous campaigns in this level that we have been really successful. Obviously, the 18-19 campaign and the one after that as well. So we can be very, very good at this level. But so I wouldn't blame it all on that. But I think definitely now to kind of take the next step, we have to try and seek some more investment, and hopefully the Athanasius can provide us with that.
Cheers, Will. Owen, last week we spoke about the fixture computer giving you Oxford away, and I think most of you were saying, yeah, it's not, one that could go either way. It's pretty awful result. Is it embarrassing, though, as some have called it?
I don't think it's embarrassing, no. It's not great at all, but I wouldn't go as far to say it's embarrassing.
Who played well for you, Owen? Let's start at the positive, shall we? I think there's only one name that's come out so far.
There's Forson, obviously, but that was only a half. I'd even say Ida made a decent appearance.
And then it stops there in terms of the positive. Yeah. So, does it? All right, Rob. What tactically went wrong for you then? How did you see it?
Well, for me, I just think we haven't got an identity yet in this kind of league, with the manager we've got being new, obviously, and yeah, like you say, I think pre-season we've holding a lot with basing around Jonathan Rowe. So him coming up last minute saying he isn't going to be in doesn't help with us tactically. So tactically we were caught like short-handed right before the whistle started, whereas we thought we were going to have a 90 minutes with Jonathan Rowe.
Cheers, Rob. Ollie, lots of the Twitter frustrations have been about effort, not just about tactics, but also fitness. They said Oxford looked fitter than you, looked more up for it than you. That's something you can't excuse. Did you see that as a fan watching that game, that there was something psychologically wrong with Norwich, not just from a footballing point of view?
I think I was always expecting Oxford to be quite energetic. They're just obviously they succeeded at Wembley. They're high on energy right now, and I don't think last season playing under Wagner has helped us at all with energy. I think it was a very negative way of football, and I think it's going to take time to get energy back, to be honest, especially, I think just looking at a team, I think Signs, he sometimes brings energy, but, when players like Signs, Sargent, they're just not there, it creates problems, I believe, and I think that was there to see yesterday.
Yeah. Would any of you start that same 11 again and just give them another chance? Or, I mean, Matty, you shaking your head straight away there. What would you change for Blackburn?
I'd start Brad Hills. I'd give him. I understand why he didn't start yesterday, and I think if he had started and we'd have still got beat 2-0, potentially it wrecks his confidence. So, this is a lad who's not even played 50 professional appearances yet. But I'd give him a go because Hanley was appalling yesterday. Duffy was not much better. I think that might be the last time that 11 starts together this season. And someone just mentioned David Wagner. Like that was pretty much a David Wagner squad. And it's going to take a hell of a lot of time for Hofstad to get his style of play implemented with the players that he wants. So, but yeah, that starting 11 was dog rough yesterday, really. I'm afraid.
Liam, it was on Sky, and obviously there's lots of shots of your new manager on the bench looking a little bit shell-shocked. What did you learn about him as a manager or coach? I know it's only one game, but in terms of substitutions, in-game management, what did we learn about him? Anything?
A little bit, sort of. He wasn't afraid to make a change sort of at half-time. Obviously, he sensed something was wrong. Everyone could see it, but he sort of brought on the new lad who sort of brought this energy, sort of gave the fans a bit more in the second half to look forward to in a way. Sort of try and sprite them up and sort of continue to support. Other subs that he made weren't too bad either. I thought he actually managed the game quite well. It's just sort of the players didn't perform, and unfortunately you can't really do much as a manager if your players aren't performing on the day. But other than that, I think as well at the end, obviously when a couple of fans sort of were there to boo and that, he sort of he stepped forwards and sort of took it all as well. So I think he's definitely one that sort of he gets behind the players and he takes the blame for it if it does go wrong.
Okay. Let's get some. Let's have a look at some takes from the game from fans on Twitter and get your views on it. Yes, rate my takes. So, Will, we'll start with you. Bit of a harsh one, I thought, this one, but I'll get your view on it. I knew from the day that he came in as manager, this would be a cheap option. He's well out of his depth already. Thoughts on that one, Will?
I do not agree with that whatsoever. For me, it's all just due to because there's so much unknowns about Norwich right now, and the squad is just so unsettled. From Hanley and Duffy as a back two, I would never have even thought about that before the game as a partnership. So yeah, I think it's more to do with our squad makeup, if I'm honest with you.
Okay. Owen, comment here. Worst I've seen us in years. Lack of effort, as we spoke about before, and lazy. The only one showing any effort was Forson. Lots to change in quickly. Is that too far? Worst you've seen us in years? Is this worse than Wagner and others?
I don't think it's far off it, to be honest. There's not much I can think. That might just be a negative recency bias, but I can't think of anything that's been worse than that as a single game. I don't think we can put it on a big era yet.
Okay. And Rob, I'll ask you about this one. Can someone explain to me why we have a new manager? I think most of you all have said this. We'll start with Duffy, Handley and McLean. Where is the youth, pride and passion? The loss shows lack of ambition by the board. I'll support the team and manager, but we deserve a better. Where do you stand on that one?
Yeah, look, I get where this guy's coming from, but I mean, I did feel it was like the other lads say, quite a David Wagner started 11. I felt Johannes could have been a bit more a bit more new with the squad, like maybe give minutes for Brad Hill yesterday. But look, I mean, if you're going to have a level head, it's an Oxford team who've come up in the playoffs, they've won the playoffs, they're going to come against us with momentum. Like they probably saw us, like they're going to play Norwich in the opening day and think this is the typical championship fixture they wanted. But look, it's just early days. That's all I can count it for. I know that's very cliche, but it's just early days. It wasn't our ideal start. No way. We should have won that. It's Oxford. But it is early days. That's all I can say.
Okay. All right, then. We'll park Oxford again. We shall never talk about it. Not till next week again, anyway. Blackburn then up next, Oliver. Probably a fixture you would have wanted to avoid next as well, because it's a team that have got a very good record at Carrow Road in recent years, and I think was actually the site of one of your worst home performances last season. It was a Sunday game on Sky.
Yeah.
Blackburn came and won 3-1, and I watched that game and I thought you're absolutely abysmal. So what needs to happen on the training ground this week? We know we've got Carabao Cup, but we'll forget about that. What should he be working on this week?
I think we just need to be a lot more solid, because especially against Blackburn, I thought against Derby, I thought they looked very impressive actually on the counter, and I think that's a concern, to be honest. I mean, the midfield as well. I would try and start forcing for that game, because I thought Liam Gibbs and Kenny McLean were both very poor, unfortunately. I mean, I still think it's a bit. He doesn't know what his best 11 is, and I think in these early days it's best to experiment. He's not going to get it right, but as long as we put in, I want to see more energy. I want to see a little bit more desire from the players, and just a more solid sort of team lineup. And I just want to give us. I want us to give it a good go, to be honest. Let's not make it easy for them.
Okay. All right. We are going to chat to you each week about a certain position of your squad as we go through now to the international break and beyond. We're starting with goalkeepers. Matty, I'll come to you first, if that's all right. Where do you see the current shape of your goalkeeping positions, both in terms of obviously the main one and backups? Is this a position we don't need to worry about for Norwich?
No, I think it is. I don't want to be too critical of Angus Gunn, but in terms of depth, if we had him injured last season and George Long came in, and I don't want to be overly critical of George Long, but at times it looked like he'd won a raffle to be there, to be honest. I'm not too sure what we saw in him to bring him in when we brought him in. I think we went for Millwall. Their fans couldn't believe that another team had come in for him. So it is a little bit of a concern for me. If Gunny's a decent keeper in the Championship, he's not the best. The Leeds fans discuss him many years. It's like an him off. But I mean, he's solid enough. He's not fantastic, but he's not awful. He's a decent number one. But in terms of depth, if he's injured, then that is a concern for me, to be honest. Okay,
Liam, do you go along with that? Thanks, Matty.
Yeah, no, I pretty much bang on agree with it. George Long isn't outstanding. It's just weird. You see a lot on social media of him pulling off some worldy saves, and then you actually get in that game situation, and he looks like he might as well just not have any arms, to be honest with you. Gunn is a good keeper. He'll sort of he'll make saves when he needs to. But yeah, I pretty much agree with everything what's just been said.
Okay. Will, you track the youth at Norwich quite a lot, and you tweet a lot about it, and please follow Will at Youth Norwich to learn more about that. Where do Norwich stand lower down in terms of youth development in goalkeepers?
Yeah, we've got so much goalkeepers at the club, really. I'd probably say I reckon probably got about 9 between under-18s level and 13 levels. So there is so much goalkeepers, really. Whether they will make it isn't a matter. But yeah, there's definitely some really talented ones, especially Kay Banson coming through as well. I probably like expect to see him probably with the 21s this year. So very, very good and promising keeper coming through in that regard for sure. But I think he might need a few more years though. Okay, cool. All right, time for added time. 90 seconds of quick fire questions to you all. Here we go. Owen, we'll start with you, if that is okay.
Who was the unsung hero or unsung man of the match against Oxford? Sorry.
Again,
The fans,
I'll go for
probably.
someone else this time, if I can.
Go on.
It is difficult. I shouldn't have said that. I'll bring Ida back into it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Who'd have thought we'd be saying that 7 days ago? Rob, where will Norwich finish now, based on what you saw the other day?
It's not going to be playoffs. I think there's a lot more potential with other teams in the champ this season. I had him 7th. That was when I thought Johnny Rowe was going to be it. I'll probably say a 10th or a 9th. I'll go 9th just to be a little bit ambitious.
Oliver, you play Stevenage in the Carabao Cup this week. Would you rather beat Stevenage or Blackburn?
Oof. That's tough. I honestly would go Stevenage because I think if we lose to Stevenage, I don't think that'd be great for confidence. I can't lie.
Okay. Liam, I'm going to give you a choice to see where the Carabao Cup goes as priorities. Would you rather win the Carabao Cup? It's all yours. You can take a trophy, go into Europe, or would you rather be promoted?
Cup. Don't have enough depth to go up.
Okay, fair enough. Matty, same question to you. Would you win the Cup or be promoted?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what Liam said. If we go up, I fear we'd be pummeled week in, week out. Good cup run, bit of feel good about the club, and let's look at next year for the league where this head coach and hopefully not this squad is concerned.
Okay. Will, atmosphere in the away end at Oxford, out of 10? Up to the goal being scored.
I would say no. I would probably say 7. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. Owen, rate the referee for us out of 10.
Maybe a 7. I didn't notice anything too horrific.
Okay. Rob, where will Oxford finish based on what you saw?
Great question. I still think they're a team with a little bit like us with not much depth. I think they'll be relegated, probably 2nd from bottom.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe
and
that's a little
Oliver,
bit harsh on them. I don't know.
okay. Oliver, finish off this talk with some positivity. Give us a reason why we shouldn't all be down in the dumps with what happened on Saturday.
This is a project. It's going to take time, and it's only going to get better from here on out. And I think, especially going into next year, I think we have a lot to look forward to.
Okay. We'll remind you of that as Sammy Smodic splashes his hat trick on next week. Cheers. Oh no, he'll be Ipswich bound by then, won't he? Ipswich can do you a favour and just sign him midweek. Cheers for joining us this week, all of you. If you're a Norwich fan, please subscribe, drop a comment below. We're doing this every single week as the season dictates. It's going to be an interesting one. I've been reading a bit more about your manager. He seems to know his stuff. He's a very strong tactical manager. So I think once he gets a grip of the Championship, I think actually this could be quite exciting for Norwich. But yeah, I think Grant Hanley's days might be numbered. That was an awful defensive howler. Thank you for joining us. Cheers very much, and we'll catch you all next week to review the Blackburn result. Fingers crossed. Cheers, fellas.
Thank you.